One day, while playing outside, Maya spotted a tiny creature running around. She reached out to pet it, but suddenly she felt a sharp pain in her finger. It had bitten her. Maya cried out in surprise and pulled her hand back, watching the creature run away and disappear into the distance. The pain quickly faded away and she headed back home, not thinking anything of it. However, over the next few days, her health took an unexpected turn. She had no idea that it would lead to her seeing the same creature again, but in a very different situation. Maya was hiding in her room, worried that her parents would come in and see her finger. It had been a couple of days since she had gone to play outside and was bitten by that weird animal. But she had not told her parents about it yet, and she wasn't planning on doing so. But deep inside, she knew she couldn't keep it a secret forever. Her finger had started to hurt really badly, and it looked quite awful as well. It was all swollen and red, and she did not even want to look at the wound. Even just touching her finger hurt terribly. She had kept it a secret for a few days, but now she needed to face her fears and ask for help. She had put it off for as long as possible because her parents always warned her to stay at a safe distance from wild animals, because she could never know if they wanted to hurt her. And now she had not taken their advice, and the exact thing they always warned her about had happened, and it was her own fault. She really thought the animal was not going to hurt her. It was so tiny. She had only wanted to pet it, but then it had bitten her in the thumb. However, it did not hurt too much and she wasn't bleeding, so she thought it would be okay. Now it was clear that she had been wrong. It was time to tell her parents. "Mommy," she softly called out from her room. A few seconds later, her bedroom door opened and her mother peeked her head through the opening. "Yes, honey," she said, seemingly in a good mood. However, as soon as she laid eyes on Maya, the expression on her face turned from joyful to worried. She immediately sensed that something was wrong. "Maya, are you all right?" her mother asked, while she walked into her room and closed the door behind her. Maya was still sitting on her bed, her eyes slowly filling with tears as she held her right hand behind her back where her mother could not see it. Her mother sat down next to her and asked, "Sweetie, what's wrong?" Maya knew that there was no going back now. She showed her mother her hand, and upon seeing it, her mother gasped, shocked by the sight of her finger. She grabbed her daughter's hand and exclaimed, "Oh no, Maya, how did this happen?" Obviously very worried, but Maya did not want to answer that question yet. "Mommy, can you make the pain go away?" Maya tried to buy some time and avoid her mother's question, but she insisted. "Maya, honey, I can only help you if you tell me how this happened," she explained, softly putting a hand on her daughter's cheek. Maya's finger was only starting to hurt more, so Maya told her mother about the little creature she came across outside, how she tried to pet it, but then it bit her instead. "I'm sorry, Mommy, I know I shouldn't have done that," she finished, a bit scared that her mother would get angry. However, she wasn't angry at all, just worried. "Honey, don't worry. Let's get you to a doctor as soon as possible because this doesn't look good." Her mother was scared that the wound was infected, so they quickly got in the car and drove to the nearest doctor's office, which was only 5 minutes away. Hopefully they could get help right away. Maya's mother greeted the assistant and asked if they could squeeze her in that same day, preferably as soon as possible. However, the assistant shook her head and said, "No, I'm sorry, Miss Martin. We are already completely booked for the rest of the day. You can come back tomorrow." She smiled apologetically. Of course, Maya's mother was not happy with this answer. She told Maya, "Honey, show the assistant your finger, will you?" And the little girl raised her hand to let the woman take a look at her wound. As soon as she saw it, the assistant gasped and said, "Oh my, I understand. Please wait here. I'll see what I can do." She left the counter and walked into a back room while Maya and her mother waited at the entrance. A couple of minutes later, the assistant finally returned and told them, "Please take a seat in the waiting room. Dr. Roberts will be right with you." Finally, they did it. They took a seat, and only minutes later, the doctor walked into the waiting room and said, "Miss Maya Martin?" Maya and her mother stood up, greeted the doctor, and followed him into his office, where he closed the door after them, and they all took a seat. Then the doctor finally said, All right, Maya. Can I take a look at your finger? Maya stretched out her hand in front of her and turned her head away, not wanting to look at her own finger. She told the doctor what happened, and he said, "Ouch, this doesn't look very good." He immediately took care of her wound, cleaned it and bandaged it, and he also gave her antibiotics because the wound was infected. When that was done, he turned to Maya and said, "All right, that should do it. You should feel better in no time, and this wound will heal just fine. Don't worry about it. You're doing great. But before you go, can I ask you some questions about the animal that bit you?" Maya finally dared to look at her finger again, and she smiled when she saw that Dr. Martin had put a Band-Aid with unicorn print on it. She nodded, and Dr. Roberts asked her some questions about where exactly she had found the animal and where it had gone to after it bit her. He was also interested in the animal's behavior and size. She answered each of the doctor's questions in as much detail as she could, and when that was done, it was time to go home. "Thank you so much, Maya. That was great. Do you want a lollipop?" the doctor asked her. He had a special drawer full of lollipops for all the kids that came into his office. Maya nodded with a big smile on her face, and she picked out a green lollipop. She was feeling much better now, but that was about to change. As Dr. Roberts showed them out the door, he told Maya's mother, "I'll call animal control right away, and they will take care of that animal. You won't have to worry about it again." Once Maya and her mother were back in the car, she asked, "Mommy, what did the doctor mean? What will they do with the animal? They won't hurt it, will they?" And she started crying. She was obviously very worried about what was going to happen to the little creature that bit her. Her mother was silent for a couple of seconds, and then she answered her daughter's question. "Well, honey, did you see what happened to you? If they let the animal out there, it might do the same to someone else. Or it might get hurt." Maya still did not fully understand what exactly they would do to the animal, but she had a feeling it wasn't something good, and she wasn't happy about it. So she decided to take matters into her own hands. As soon as they got home, Maya asked her mother if she could play outside with some friends. Her mother replied, "Of course, but be careful with that finger," and Maya immediately rushed out the door. She had a plan, and of course, she was not going to tell anyone about it. She did not want animal control to hurt that animal, and the only way to prevent that from happening was to find it herself before they did. So she set out on a search for the little creature that had bitten her. Maya was in a hurry, so she ran all the way to the spot where she had found the animal a couple of days ago. She searched the area for almost an hour, but she found no trace of it. She was very disappointed. She had seen it as her mission to help the little creature, but now she had failed. However, just as she was about to leave, she heard something rustling in the dirt. It seemed to be coming from behind a large rock. Maya silently and slowly approached it, very curious to see what was hiding behind it. The suspense was almost making her heart jump out of her chest. Would it be the animal she was looking for? She was now just a few more steps away from the rock. She held her breath as she stretched out her neck to take a look at what was behind it, and when she finally saw it, she gasped. "There you are. I have been looking for you all over," she whispered. She had found the little animal again. "Come with me. I won't hurt you. We need to hurry before animal control comes here and takes you away," she said to it. Maya was convinced that the animal had only bitten her because it was scared and hungry. How couldn't it be scared? It was so tiny. Luckily, she had come prepared this time. On her way there, she had plucked a few berries from a bush that she passed. She took one berry out of her pocket and held it in her hand, not the one with the injured finger, which she stretched out in front of her so the animal could easily grab it. She was very careful, and she felt ready to pull her hand back in case the animal tried to hurt her. But this time, nothing like that would happen. The animal was completely focused on the berry, which it immediately grabbed from Maya's hand and took a few bites off. "You like berries, don't you?" Maya laughed. Days turned into weeks, and Maya found herself looking forward to each visit with the curious creature. She had taken to calling him Milo, a name that seemed to resonate with the creature's innocent eyes and playful nature. Their bond grew, not just out of curiosity, but genuine affection. Maya would often sit beside Milo, talking to him as if he understood every word, and in those moments, the outside world seemed to fade away. Besides berries, Maya became curious about what else Milo might like. She began to experiment. One day she brought a piece of apple, which Milo eagerly nibbled on. The next, she tried a tiny piece of cheese, but Milo seemed indifferent. Grapes were a hit, while breadcrumbs had mixed reviews. Every feeding session was a new discovery for both Maya and Milo, unveiling little joys of their growing bond. While most of Maya's days were filled with school and chores, she had carved out a special time for her meetings with Milo. Each evening, as the sun's golden hue bathed the horizon, she'd sneak out to their meeting spot. This had become their secret ritual, a stolen moment from Maya's otherwise regular life. One evening, as Maya was sharing some more grapes with Milo, the creature suddenly took off, darting around Maya in what seemed like a game of tag. Maya giggled as she tried to catch him, both of them moving in playful circles. When they finally stopped, both panting and laughing, the bond had deepened further. It was evident Milo wasn't just an animal, he was her friend. As days went by, whispers began to spread in the neighborhood about an unusual creature roaming around. Children claimed they'd seen it near the woods, while some adults speculated about where it might have come from. There was an air of mystery, and as tales grew, so did the intrigue. Maya remained tight-lipped, ensuring that her secret rendezvous with Milo stayed just that, a secret. Mr. Thompson, the oldest resident in the neighborhood, recalled tales from his youth of mysterious creatures seen in the woods. There were stories of the night whisperer and the golden-eyed phantom. As Maya listened to the elders recount these tales, she wondered if Milo was related to any of these legends. Her heart raced with excitement and fear, hoping the tales wouldn't draw undue attention to Milo. Maya felt the need to provide Milo with a more secure environment. Over the course of a week, using branches, leaves, and anything she could find, Maya constructed a makeshift shelter. Nestled deep in the woods, this hideout was Milo's haven, shielding him from prying eyes and the unpredictable elements of nature. The community was abuzz with talk about the mysterious creature. Animal control was alerted. Notices began appearing around the neighborhood, warning residents about an unknown animal and urging them to report any sightings. Maya's heart sank each time she saw these notices. The world she'd built around Milo seemed threatened. With increasing attention on Milo, Maya had to be even more discreet. She began varying their meeting times and routes to ensure she wasn't followed. She draped the shelter with more foliage, camouflaging it further. Each day became a game of hide and seek, with Maya doing everything in her power to keep Milo safe. Seeking more knowledge about Milo, Maya headed to the local library. Poring over books on wildlife, she tried to find any creature resembling Milo. As she sifted through the pages, images of various animals stared back at her. None seemed a perfect match, but there were a few similarities here and there. Her quest for answers deepened, and she became even more determined to protect and understand her newfound friend. While rummaging through her attic, Maya stumbled upon a dusty old magazine with a picture of animals eerily similar to Milo on the cover. The feature story spoke of a peculiar family of animals, known for their playful nature and affinity for desert terrains. The more Maya read, the more she was convinced Milo wasn't the only one of his kind. One afternoon, as Maya was returning from their secret spot, she spotted the familiar uniforms of animal control near her house. They were interviewing residents and seemed to be inspecting the nearby woods. Panicking, she darted home, hoping they hadn't found Milo. She went to their meeting spot that night, relieved to find him safe, but the risks were becoming apparent. While sitting on her porch one evening, Mrs. Jennings, an elderly neighbor, shared stories of her youth. She spoke of an animal sanctuary near the outskirts of town, which, though initially successful, had fallen on hard times. Maya listened intently, connecting dots in her head, wondering if Milo could be connected to this sanctuary. Curiosity got the better of Maya, and she decided to research the sanctuary. She discovered that over the years it had faced numerous challenges. from financial troubles to accusations of mismanagement. There were also rumors about animals mysteriously disappearing. Could Milo be one of the missing? Through her research, Maya learned that many animals, especially those like Milo, rely heavily on their families for survival. They form close-knit units, each member playing a crucial role. The thought of Milo being separated from his family weighed heavily on her heart, furthering her resolve to help him. One weekend when Maya's parents were away, she decided to bring Milo home. While initially cautious, it wasn't long before his playful nature surfaced. From knocking over vases to playfully chasing his own shadow, Milo's antics filled Maya's home with laughter. But along with the joy came the realization that her house wasn't the ideal environment for him. As days went by, a gnawing feeling grew within Maya. While she cherished every moment with Milo, she couldn't shake off the feeling that she might be doing more harm than good. Was she being selfish by keeping Milo hidden? Was there a better life waiting for him, surrounded by his own kind? The moral quandary weighed heavily on her young shoulders. Driven by a desire to find answers, Maya decided to visit the sanctuary. Pretending to be a volunteer, she took a tour, hoping to find clues about Milo's origins. The vast expanse of land was filled with enclosures, each housing various animals, but none that she could immediately identify as Milo's family. While touring the sanctuary's educational center, Maya's eyes landed on a photograph pinned to a bulletin board. It showcased a creature strikingly similar to Milo. The caption mentioned it being a recent addition to the sanctuary, but didn't provide more details. Maya's heart raced. Could she have finally found a clue to Milo's true identity? Maya was introduced to Sarah and Ben, two passionate sanctuary workers. Their genuine care for the animals was evident. Sharing tidbits about their charges, they spoke of the challenges and joys of their roles. While Maya didn't immediately reveal her secret, the warmth and understanding she felt from them made her consider opening up about Milo. Maya spent countless nights pondering what was best for Milo. Her heart ached at the thought of parting, but reason and research were pointing towards a life for Milo with his own kind. Each night as she watched Milo's innocent eyes gleam under the moonlight, she knew she was on the cusp of making a life-altering decision for both of them. Maya mustered the courage to confide in Sarah and Ben about Milo. Understanding the sensitivity of the situation, the trio hatched a plan to reintroduce Milo to the sanctuary in the least stressful way. They decided on a gradual process, ensuring that Milo would always feel safe and understood. The day arrived faster than Maya had expected. She prepared a small bag of Milo's favorite berries and toys, ensuring he had familiar comforts. As she knelt beside him, whispering assurances and shedding silent tears, she hoped he would understand that this decision was born out of love. As Milo was introduced to an enclosure resembling his natural habitat, he hesitated briefly before venturing further. There, to Maya's joy, he encountered other creatures that looked just like him. Their initial curiosity soon transformed into playful interactions, signaling the start of Milo's new chapter. With each passing day, Milo seemed to grow closer to his new companions. Whether it was foraging for food, play fighting, or basking under the sun, it was clear that Milo was being accepted. Maya watched from a distance, her heart swelling with pride and a touch of sorrow. The experience with Milo ignited a flame within Maya. She yearned to understand more about the animal kingdom and the delicate balance of nature. She began reading extensively, attending workshops, and discussing conservation strategies with the sanctuary workers. Seeing her passion, the sanctuary offered Maya a volunteer role. Her tasks varied from feeding the animals, maintaining the enclosures, to guiding visitors. Each day was an adventure, and Maya soaked in every moment, learning and contributing simultaneously. While Milo held a special place in her heart, Maya found herself forging new bonds at the sanctuary. Whether it was the wise old owl, the energetic monkeys, or the graceful deer, each animal had a story, and Maya became a part of it. News about Maya's discovery and Milo's true identity spread like wildfire. The community was abuzz with chatter. Some were surprised, some were proud of Maya's maturity, and others were just fascinated by the tale of the young girl and the baby meerkat. Maya's story served as a testament to the bonds that can form between humans and nature. Milo's story transcended beyond just an adorable animal tale. As the news spread, Milo became a symbol for wildlife awareness. Local schools began to include lessons about the importance of native species, and parents found themselves having conversations about conservation with their children, all inspired by a playful meerkat named Milo. Maya, moved by her experience, took up the role of a young ambassador for wildlife conservation. Using social media platforms, she started campaigns and initiatives that highlighted the plight of various animals, urging her peers and the community to take proactive steps in ensuring their protection. The Sanctuary, in collaboration with Maya, initiated a series of educational workshops. These events aimed at educating the community on the importance of preserving local habitats, understanding animal behavior, and the dire consequences of habitat destruction. Inspired by Maya's story, a new generation of conservationists was born. Young children took up causes, formed groups, and undertook many projects in their locality, showcasing a remarkable transformation in the community's perspective towards nature. In recognition of Maya's contributions and to immortalize the bond between her and Milo, the Sanctuary approached her with a unique proposition. They proposed creating a special section dedicated to Milo's story, educating visitors about the journey of the young meerkat and the girl who cared for him. The day finally came when the Sanctuary unveiled the truth. During a community gathering, they revealed Milo's origin. He was a baby meerkat who had unknowingly strayed away from his family at the Sanctuary. The revelation was met with gasps of surprise, followed by appreciative nods, acknowledging Maya's selfless act. The Sanctuary, in a heartwarming ceremony, inaugurated an exhibit named Maya and Milo, an unbreakable bond. This section not only showcased the meerkat family, but also featured an interactive timeline of Maya's journey, complete with pictures, artifacts, and snippets of her diary. Maya's story triggered an educational wave, making people realize the importance of every creature in maintaining the balance of nature. Schools incorporated curriculum changes that focused on understanding ecosystems, the role of predators and prey, and the significance of each species, no matter how small. Years later, Maya often found herself reflecting on her time with Milo. The playful nips, the shared berries, and the silent moments under the starry sky. Though their paths had diverged, the impact of their bond was evident in the thriving community, the bustling sanctuary, and the heart of a girl forever changed by a baby meerkat.